So for each of these four problems, we're going to find the area of the sector and we're going to find the length of the arc. So like if this was a slice of pizza, what is the area of the pizza that I would be eating? And we're also going to find the length of the arc. And when we do that, we're back to these first formulas that we used right here. So, well, let's go. So let's just go through them all first and find area, and then we'll go through all of them and find the arc length. So the area is going to be, and don't make it harder than it is, how much of this circle am I using? Now, don't be like, well, I don't know, is it a half? Is it 2/3? Is it, who cares? Don't try to over-reduce things. You have 140 degrees out of 360. And I know that because of that little angle right there, right? Okay, so 140 over 360 times pi times the radius squared, and that's it. Now we'll type that in and we'll get an answer in a minute, but that really is the big idea. So as long as we can set that up, we're good. Now maybe we want to reduce this, and if you did, you'd have 7 over 18. No, 7 over, nah, my brain just shut down. Yeah, you would have 7 over 18. Anyway, so yeah, you would do that, but you don't have to do that. So let's do this. Let's type this in. While I'm typing this in, oh good, it is 7 over 18. Second guessing my fraction reducing skills right there. Times 5 squared. While we're doing that, this is centimeters by the way. 0.54 centimeters, and this is area squared. I was going to say while I'm typing, if you want to set the other ones up, that'd be good practice for you. But make sure that when you put your units, if there are units involved, and on these there generally are, there was not one on one of the first ones, but when we're putting units, let's make sure we put them correctly. I'm dealing with area, so this is square centimeters. So let's go to this one and we'll do the same thing. We'll come back and do the length of the arc. So what we just found was the area of that shaded region, and so how much of the circle do you have? I don't know the exact fraction, but I know it's 300 out of 360. It's always over 360, unless you're using radians, different measurement, but we're not going to go there right now. Pi times 6 squared. And we'll just type that in. So 300 over 360 times pi times 6 squared. Now, the instructions at some point might say leave your answer in terms of pi, at which point you would not put that, and you'd be like, oh, the answer is 30 pi. Well, they didn't say that, so let's do that. And so we have 94.25, and it is also centimeters squared. And this gets really monotonous after a while because you got it, and you're like, wow, this is easy. So the area of this one is, well, I don't have the full thing. I have 270 over 360 times pi times the radius squared, and that's going to give me, well, let's go ahead and reduce that. That's 3/4. You can kind of see that from here. 3/4 times pi times 100. So 2387. 23.87 square centimeters. And this one is just a skinny little slice of pizza. And so the area there would be 10 out of 360 degrees. That'd reduce to be 1 over 36. Pi times 3.5 squared. 10 over 360 times pi times 3.5 squared. And that would be 1.07, and that is also square centimeters. So good. We've gone through here, we found all the area. Again, that means that we found out how much gray matter we have in each picture. Now let's go back and do a different problem where we find the length of the arc. And the arc really would be this. Basically, I'm saying, hey, how long is that curve right there? Well, when I say how long is the curve on a circle, I'm really saying, if I had the circumference, what would it be? Well, I don't want the whole thing. I want 140 out of 360 times 2 times pi, I'll put them in the same parentheses, times 5, and we'll just crank that out. And we'll type it in the calculator and we'll get it. And I'm going to go ahead and do that very quickly. So 140 over 360, we've already reduced that a couple times, haven't we? Times 2 times pi times 5. So 1222. And okay, now let's think about units here. I'm dealing with length, so I'm not going to say, well, that's so many square centimeters long. It's not square centimeters long, it's just centimeters long, okay? It's the length. So we're going to do the same thing here. And again, these get really repetitive after a while, so we got it. 300 over 360 times 2 times pi times 6. We'll type that in. and I have 3142. Please don't just copy. Make sure you're understanding the process, and grab a calculator and type one or two of these in just to check behind me and make sure that you know the process for typing it in. I know you know how to use a calculator, but there are easy little mistakes you can make. So just make sure you're not making those mistakes. Okay, let's do the same thing here. Circumference, this will get really boring very quickly. 270 over 360 times 2 times pi times 10. Let's just go ahead and write that last one. This one's going to be 10 over 360 times 2 times pi times 3.5. And we'll crank out a couple answers. They're both going to be in centimeters. So 3/4 times 20 times pi, that'd be 15 pi, whatever 15 pi is. 4712 centimeters. And this last one is 0.61 centimeters. Okay, we're going to get to some a little more difficult, more challenging problems in the next section.